Sure. Hi, this is Nicole from Nice Assets Pottery in Wellington, New Zealand. And I thought I would show you guys how to throw test tiles on the wheel because I looked for a video on how to do this and I could not find one on YouTube. So I thought I would show you how I do it. And this I learned on Instagram. So basically you just take whatever kind of clay you want to make your test tiles with, and depending on how many you want to make, use, I would say, about a kilo of clay. That's what I've got here. I might even have more than a kilo here, but I wanted to make quite big tiles, so you can get away with a lot less. So basically, center your clay as you normally would, and then open it up. Making sure that you go all the way to the wheel head when you open it up, and widen the base out as much as you can. So widen it all the way out to the edge of the wheel if you have enough clay to do that. So once you've got your opening all the way out and you've got the walls, you haven't started pulling them up, just kind of gently squeeze in about a centimeter from the wheel head and shape the walls of the clay into a tile shape. So basically just kind of using your fingers to pull up, creating that L shape on each side. And just take as long as you need to refine the shape. And if you are going to be testing some new glazes that are runny, you can leave kind of a bit of a lip on the inside of the test tile or the outside on the base. Of course, the glaze can still run down the sides, but it might help. I do recommend firing on a kiln biscuit, though, if you are going to be testing some new glazes, just to save your shelves. You can also use this method if you want to make test tile sitters. So if you're using test tiles that are flat, if you roll out a slab and you cut out some test tiles that way, and you want to have something to sit them on inside your kiln, you could just make a bigger version of this. Well, big enough to match your test tiles, whatever size test tiles you're using, and just create a wide enough base that you can get the tiles sitting at the angle you want. So if you were going to be doing a tile sitter, you could use the exact same method. And yeah, I just use a little wooden tool to refine the corners, but honestly, they're test tiles, they don't need to look that beautiful. Another thing I do, which you can, but you don't have to, is I just carve some kind of lines into the side using the pointy end of the tool, just because that way you can see glazes, how they respond over breaks and surface. And then I just clean up the inside, wire it off at this point, but I let it dry on the wheel head for a few hours before I tried to move it. If you throw on a bat, you could just take the bat off. Obviously, I don't use bats, so I wired it off before, wire it off again. Now it's kind of leather hardish, so I can just pick it up and take it off. And then you basically just slice it into your test tiles. So start by slicing it and opening it up. And if this was a bit dry, but if your clay's still pretty moist, you can actually almost completely open it so it's flat and it's a straight line. But I didn't want to risk cracking, so I left mine a little bit with a bit of a curve. And then yeah, you just take your wire and you cut your test tiles evenly. So just every few centimeters I just slice, slice, slice. And there you go. That is how I make my test tiles. So that took me maybe 10 minutes to throw and to cut. And I've got, I think, something about like 30 test tiles out of it. Voila! Look at my lovely test tiles, all ready to dry and bisque fire and experiment with new glazes to my heart's content. Ta-da! Thanks for watching. I hope this was useful.